We're back, and I'm not alone. Yeah.
It's been
Although,
15 days since my surgery, so I'm
yes.
back. I can sit upright in a chair
And
without screaming in pain.
props to Heather for talking to me in the comments. In the last video, last live
Oh,
stream. I
really?
appreciate that. Yeah, she was. I wasn't like right then, but she was like shortly after it ended. She was like commenting, and I'm like, hello.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Also, disclaimer, if I randomly grimace or glare or look like I hate the world, sometimes I get random surges of pain. So I am happy to be here just to warn everybody my face may just do this random grimace every once in a while. So
yep. That's
yeah,
all
I'm
right.
so happy back.
Yes, I'm just glad you're recovering well, and
Yeah.
yes,
My
like
mental health is a lot better now too, so I finally started. I'm feeling human again, honestly.
yes.
So
Well, and there's like there's always like a chance of infection, and when right after mom's similar surgery, she got this really bad infection, and she had to end up going to the like emergency room. It was horrible. And they give her like
yeah.
the drugs that they only give in the emergency room when it's that bad. She got the stuff that kicked in like a minute. It was she said it was great, but yeah.
That's funny.
So I'm just
I
glad there's
remember
no infections. There's no other. It's healed smoothly, so we're
I was
good.
worried. They were really, honestly, my kidneys. They were like, I wasn't drinking or eating, and so my kidneys were like not doing good after they took the
Yeah.
catheter out. And so that was why I didn't go home until Friday. Like I had the surgery on a Wednesday, and I didn't get home until Friday night because they
Yeah.
were worried about my kidneys. So that was kind of a thing
Yeah.
that happened. They had me, I'm not gonna lie, they had me on heavy narcotics where it was like the
Yeah.
saying you push the button every 10 minutes and it gives you more. And so I loved that so much because it put me to sleep. So I was just like every time I'd wake up and I'd push the button, go back, but I brought so many books because I was like, I'm gonna be so bored sitting in the hospital for 3 days.
That's
I
funny.
literally did nothing. I slept all 3 days in the hospital, other than them waking me up for, the routine, nurse checks and
Yeah.
stuff. I slept. And I was like,
Yeah, because you would
yeah,
text me, and then you would text me, and then I would text you back, and then you would respond once, and then after that, there was just no response, and I'm like, okay, she's probably fallen back asleep, and that's you're mentioning this, and I'm like, oh, that makes so much more sense, like, cause she would awake long enough to respond to my text message, like, at least once, and then it was just like, nope, we're out.
honestly, I don't even remember texting you. Like, I don't remember a whole lot. Like, it was hilarious. We went for a checkup on Tuesday, so it was like almost 2 weeks later. And I looked at Michael and I was like, "What did you do the whole time?" And it just two weeks later, it just then occurred to me to ask what he had been doing the whole time because I didn't know. I wasn't aware of
Yeah,
anything.
that
And he was
was
like, "Oh,
fair.
I played on my phone." And I was like, "For 3 days?" He was like, "Yeah, it was pretty boring." And I was like, "I'm so sorry, babe."
Oh,
Like I
that's
didn't even
funny.
notice for 2 weeks later. It was like, oh my god.
That's
But
great.
yeah, so it's been interesting, but I'm recovering. Like it was like day 8, I was finally able to get independent again and start walking around. And that's the weird thing, because then your brain wants to be like, I can do all the things, but you're like, no, it's been 8 days, like
Yeah.
chill out, you can't do anything. You can
Yeah.
just walk yourself to the bathroom is pretty much all that means.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but it's like I feel my mental health is so much better now.
Good.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like recovery, any form of recovery, like it's so easy to let yourself mentally fall into that place of like, oh, like, depressive, like, state. It's just
yeah.
you're out of routine, and you're not able to do things, and you're like very heavily reliant on other people, and it's just when you're a very independent person, that's really hard to adjust to.
Yeah. I would just cry, like for no reason. I wasn't like
I remember you telling me
like
about that.
sometimes I was taking pain, but it was like my dogs would be there, and I'm like, I can't play with my dogs. I can't hold my puppy. I can't,
Yeah.
and then I got bored, and I cry when I get bored, just because for whatever reason, I don't know. It's like I cry when I get angry. So I
Yeah, it's
cry
the
when I
same,
see
same
anything.
way.
I am so bored. I'm like, I am digging into the DVDs that are behind the other DVDs that I've put away for years. Like, I am so bored. So it's been nice to like actually get stuff done. So I started to kind of,
Yeah.
I'm tentatively working. I haven't written yet, but I'm like, I got all the Kickstarter stuff. I got all the stuff signed. So I signed, I don't know how many books I signed, but it was a lot.
I see you got your $2,000 water bottle. You got your
I'm
thousand
like,
dollar water bottle. I saw it.
I love this thing. It's my new favorite thing.
Yeah.
They this is one person's order from the Kickstarter. It's like 17. It's the whole Valiant series twice with an extra copy of Immortal in there. Like I signed all of these in like one go, and then there's another stack behind.
Oh.
Author's dream, so I cannot complain.
We
like the author wants to sign that many books.
Yeah. We went robotic there for a second, so I don't know if we saw the other stack, if you showed a second stack, but that's okay.
I just showed the stack.
Oh, gotcha. So we saw the big stack, but if you showed any other stack other than the big stack, we didn't see it. Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
We both have finished books. I just finished mine this evening.
Yeah. So I felt bad because I read Water Falling by H.A. Pruitt while I was not able to talk about it to anybody.
Yeah.
But it was a good book for me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not kidding. Like when I got home, there was a point when I was just like, all I did was sit and read for hours at a time to like finish this book. And then, so yeah, it was like, so they end up going to this place, which I won't spoil for you, but it reminds me, I think it's the Odyssey, where Odysseus and his group end up on this island and they get seduced and tricked and they don't know what to, they forget their mission.
Yeah.
And it's like Percy Jackson does it in like the club. And it's like one of those things, you don't know what's real, you don't know who to trust, and they just end up staying in this place and getting kind of lost in it. And it was like so intriguing because you didn't know what was real. And then it kind of slowed a little bit in the middle because it was a lot of it was like Kendall, the main POV character, and her thoughts about things. But when we got to like after the halfway point, they get to this place called Spader, I think is the town. That town is so fascinating to me. And there's something like you get this feeling that there's just something off about the town because it's too perfect. So that whole time you just keep reading because you meet all these interesting characters. I like NPC style characters where they're like side characters in the town and like the main. And then the ending had several twists that like took me by genuine surprise. So it was like you had to keep reading to find out what was going to happen. And now the characters are all kind of in a cliffhanger situation that will be interesting to pick up with on the next book in the series. So I'm pretty excited about this one. And I really enjoyed it. It was like a 4-star, 4.5 stars for me, overall. So
yeah, cool.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, so I just finished Alchemized this evening.
Thick baby.
Yeah, like it feels like a very open-ended and like an ending where like I could feel like there could be more to write if she wanted to. I can't remember if the original fan fiction had multiple books in the series or not. I can't remember. But I don't know. It was an ending where you could say things are happy, but the characters aren't the same, if that makes sense. And
so it's like that's a good type of way to end the book with your characters.
And it's really interesting because you get so far and then there's kind of like this mini catalyst that happens, and then it goes into flashbacks and it goes to like 4 years prior, and then like, and I think one big thing that people don't realize at the beginning is like you can tell she's done so much work to this book to make it like her own series. Sorry, I dropped something.
You're fine.
And you can tell that she's spent a lot of time making her own lore, her own world. Like you can tell she's put time into that. Like there are little things that seem familiar, like similar to Harry Potter, but I honestly would feel that it's different enough that I didn't really have any issues distinguishing between the two. Like,
so it feels like it's inspired by than like fan fiction.
Yes, exactly. And so that's what made me pretty happy. And it was like, it took a little bit to get used to the magic system because it uses more of like alchemy, metals, resonance style, like magic.
That's cool.
So it's very different from like the spells, potion casting style magic. It's very different from that. And so
I wonder if that was the first thing that she made different. Was like, okay, this is going to need a different magic system entirely.
And it's really neat the way she does it. And so like it starts out post-war kind of like post conflict, and then over a course of time things happen, And then eventually it kickstarts these memories from 4 years prior. And it's interesting because some people, I guess, I saw videos of other people addressing this, but I guess like some people are kind of confused about certain things, or it seems kind of confusing at the beginning. And other people that I've seen on TikTok have also mentioned that she has lost 2 years of her memory, like 2 to 4 years of her memory. She doesn't remember. So,
Right.
of course, she's not going.
They're gonna
There's
be
like 2
confusing.
years of her
Yeah.
memory that she's just gone. She doesn't remember it. So obviously, as a reader, you're going to be confused because she is also confused, and she's learning what happened in the war, what happened that she doesn't remember, and so
Right.
it kind of makes sense. And then when you go back, like 4 years prior, you get as you go. It's funny because I got used to Helena, which is the main girl, with Kane Farron, I believe his name is. I got so used to them interacting and their storyline that when it went back in time, I had to really kind of reset my brain a little bit. And it took me, it was almost like I was reading a new book, kind of. And it was really interesting because you go back and you instantly are introduced to these other characters that she's referenced before, but you've never really seen them interact firsthand. And then slowly, and it does feel kind of repetitive, but the whole with certain things a little bit, but honestly that builds up that slow burn relation, the slow burning, like not really companionship, like they're more like, I hate saying coworkers, but you get that vibe. It's kind of like they're not like right together right away. That some that develops, but honestly the romance is really like, it's not super side story, it's kind of like runs alongside it to an extent, but there's a lot of other more complicated stuff that doesn't make it like your typical romance at all. And so,
Cool.
yeah, it's and it reveals things as you go. So there's one thing like it mentions that something happens earlier in the book, and then later you actually get to that point, and there's so much more that happened in the story than what you kind of realized at the beginning, and so it's really interesting. And yeah, and so it's good. I liked it. It didn't feel like I was reading 1,000 pages, to be completely honest with you. Like,
Because like when you're reading a thick book, like you don't want it to feel like that thick, because then it makes it even harder to finish. So that's actually really cool that it didn't feel that long.
yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention was there are some quotes in this book, but I put them in my main review that'll be coming sometime in November, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so that's why I didn't actually talk about the quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also another thing at the end, he's kind of like the kid who's like the younger kid. He's like a little bit bigger than the others. He's a little bit more nerdy and intelligent, so he's not as athletic. He actually had like a big role at the end, and I really
cool.
I forgot to say that in my review. I really liked that in the ending.
Yeah.
A little bit of a side note, the author of this book, H.A. Pruitt, she's my friend and she's my editor. And so she just writing a book that she's calling Loris and Zipporah, which I think I gave you notes to take for our, the update you did by yourself. She's sending me voice messages via Facebook Messenger, reading the chapters to me. And we're using the same structure that we do when we edit my books, but she's reading me hers. So I am still like listening to that, even though it's not published yet. It's not going to count officially on Goodreads. It's technically an extra book that I'm listening to. I think I'm on chapter 7, so I think I should be starting chapter 8. It's so much fun. It deals with like imagination magic, and like, I don't know if it's actually magic, but like Aloris, the main guy, it's going to be a romance, but it goes through right now, they're still kids. Yeah. And it's like Romeo and Juliet, because he's an elf, she's a witch, and their people hate each other.
Yeah.
And then he has a huge imagination, so a lot of it is like, it really reminds me of when I was a kid, and like that live kind of play, like you play the imagination play. I don't know what the technical term of that is.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So she's gonna listen to this. She's gonna fangirl that I'm fangirling over Loris and Zipporah. I love that book.
Yeah.
And second, I actually read 2.5 of my books. I'm still reading half of another one, but I've written a bunch of books and just never gone back and reread them. So this time was like a good time. I was like, I'm the author. I can send these to my Kindle. I don't know why I've never done it before.
Yeah.
but I've never have. So I read, it's like one of them was a Samson, a Bible, like a biblical fiction of Samson. So it was like biblically accurate, but like
Mm.
fictionalized as much as I could. So I did that one because I got in a Samson mood. And then the other one was like a fantasy, a romantasy, the first romantasy I've ever, well, the second romantasy I've ever written. So that one I just finished yesterday.
Sweet.
So I have read those two books. So I've read more than just this, but like these are the only published books that I've read.
Yeah.
And right now, I took the plunge and I finally started The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros.
Sweet.
So I don't think I've told everybody else. I think I told you.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got this book, I was so excited. The prologue hooked me immediately, but then I read that the trigger warning was child cancer. And given the nature of my surgery, cancer was a potential.
Yeah.
And at the time, this was before my surgery, and it was very scary. And so I was like, I can't emotionally handle that. After my surgery, I felt better.
Yeah.
And so I decided to take the plunge because I had 2 free credits on Audible, and I noticed that the audiobook for this does a guy and a girl. So it's a
Oh,
dual
sweet.
audiobook. And the guy's voice is so good, the girl's voice is so good, and I couldn't not read it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. This is actually probably going to be my favorite read of the year, even
Sweet.
over Onyx Storm. Like
Awesome.
it is one of the most realistic
Cool.
contemporary romances I've ever read.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it's like it handles like the romance like really well because it's just like it's real life.
Mm-hmm.
It is so real, and I love it. So and the premise went differently than I thought it was going to. So essentially, the main guy is Beckett, and he is a soldier overseas with the main girl Ella, her brother,
Mm-hmm.
and so for a while, and so Ella asks her brother like, is there any guys in your unit that I can write to that needs letters and doesn't have any family? And he's like, yeah. And he tells her. So she writes a letter to Beckett and they start becoming pen pals. So before every chapter, you get more of their letters to
Oh,
each
cool.
other. And so they connected so much because they
Yeah.
didn't know. Beckett, was in military. You can't use your actual name. So he ended up
Mm-hmm.
using his military nickname, which was Chaos. So
Oh,
she
okay.
never even knew his name. She never saw a picture of him. He only saw pictures of her because of her brother. Like that's his best friend.
Gotcha.
And then we knew that the main premise, like it's not a spoiler because it's like the main blurb of the story. Her brother
Mm-hmm.
dies and asks Beckett to go help her because she won't ask for help and she can't do this alone. Well, the
Mm-hmm.
thing that we didn't know, because I read that and so I was like, okay, I know how this is gonna go. But the thing is, we didn't know that like the one of her, she has 2 twins and they're 5 years old, a boy and a girl.
Mm-hmm.
The girl Maisie gets diagnosed with cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and that happens before the brother dies. So like her brother
Okay.
and Beckett both know, and she can't, and she's running a it's like a resort type place.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's trying to juggle all of this alone. She's a single mom who comes from a divorce. The dad
Mm-hmm.
never wanted the kids. So it was
Yeah.
like really like grounded in
Yeah.
reality. A lot of stuff I related to. A lot of the hospital stuff was
Yeah.
like really fresh in my mind because I just went through some of that myself. And so the brother obviously knows that she's going to need help with all of this, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's when Beckett shows up. But the key is he shows up and he's using his real name. She only knows Chaos. She
Mm.
doesn't know Beckett. And he knows that because after the brother died, he stopped writing her back because it was just too emotional for him when he
Yeah.
lost her brother. And there's a secret. We don't know, like, when the brother died, like, there's something that happened that we don't know, that Beckett's not telling anybody. And so we're waiting for the big secret to be revealed, kind of
Gotcha.
thing.
Yeah.
The fun aspect of the premise when he shows up is that he decides to keep it a secret and not reveal that he is Chaos. And
Gotcha.
she asks him, how did the brother die? He's like, that's classified, I can't tell you. And then she's
Mm.
like, was Chaos with him? And he just says yes. And she's like,
Mm.
how did Chaos die? And he's like, that's classified. So
Ah.
he actually let her think that Chaos died. And it was like, so it's
Ah.
just it's so good. And so he's there and he's helping, and it's like a lot of like dealing with like Maisie's cancer
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis and just so much intense drama. And then there's some drama with the ex and the divorce. And
Mm. Yeah.
um I cannot get enough of this book. I am like soaking it up. And the thing is, they had one moment where it almost got spicy, but he literally pulled away because he's like, he's the kind of, he was in jumped from foster home to foster home, so he's never had a relationship that lasted for more than 7 months. And inside his head, he knows that she doesn't trust anybody because again, her divorce. And so if he he knows that if she ever catches him in the lie about chaos, when he tells her the truth, she's never going to trust him again. And then he won't be able to help her with Maisie and the other kid and all that stuff. And so he was like, we can't do this. And he wouldn't even like kiss her. And it was just like such a realistic aspect of like a real relationship and Spice and stuff. Because Rebecca Yarros, like she writes Spice. But it's like, it's a level of realism that is so amazing. And I'm just like, it's better than Fourth Wing. Like her Fourth Wing and the Empyrean series, like this book and her writing and everything is just so good. And I'm just like, I was shocked to actually love her contemporary like writing, because we love Fourth Wing and Onyx Storm, and that's a 5-star fantasy series for me. So it's crazy for me how much I love this book. I've actually had to force myself to slow down because I don't want to finish it too soon. And the problem is I'm in the mood for this sort of thing, and there's no books or movies that are close to it. I did watch the movie Nicholas Sparks, The Lucky One, which has a book.
Oh my god, I love that movie.
I watched it, but it's still not close. It's like that, but like also the similarities, because in that one he found a picture that after her brother died, so he was in combat, her brother was in combat, she's a single mom with a kid with a business, he's a troubled military guy with past and PTSD, and he still works for her. It's the set. I'm thinking that she was inspired by The Lucky One, but obviously she's married to a military guy, and she has friends that have children with cancer, and so she added a whole level of realism that was like more than just Nicholas Sparks. But I'm thinking The Lucky One might have been her inspiration for it. It's just like all these things that are similar, and it's so good. So I thought about reading it next,
you
like
should.
Nicholas Sparks.
You should see like the difference in writing too. Huh. Okay, so the first thing that I was going to mention is probably like the biggest thing that's been on my feed recently, and I don't know if you're mentioning it too or not. It's not directly book related, but it's about like story and script writing and stuff like that, so I'm connecting it that way. So, Adam Driver is the guy that played Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, in the sequel trilogy. Okay, and so the internet is in an uproar, angry at Disney again, because in an interview with the Associated Press, and Adam Driver, this was like, the Yahoo article was posted the 21st, so it's not very old, okay? And there was like this big article, this big interview, but there's one section, a Star Wars near miss. And it says, I was always interested in doing another Star Wars, says Driver, who starred as Kylo Ren in the trilogy kicked off by The Force Awakens. I've been talking about doing another one since 2021. Kathleen, and they put Kennedy in parentheses, had reached out, and I always said, with a great director and a great story, I'd be there in a second. I love that character, and I love playing him. I like that he emphasized a great director and a great story. Like, I really like that. Okay, let me continue, okay? So, Driver says that he took a concept to Soderbergh, I don't know if I'm saying that right, for a film that would take place after The Rise of Skywalker. The movie culminated in Ren's redemption and apparent death. Driver had undertaken the trilogy with an arc in mind for Ren that inverted the journey of Darth Vader. As the trilogy evolved, it didn't play out the way Driver felt. It didn't plan out that way. So Adam, in his head, had an idea where he wanted to take Kylo Ren's character and where he thought that character arc would go, and he wanted it to mirror Darth Vader and his redemption, which I would have loved. But over the course of the trilogy, which I think is a silent hint to the second of the 3 movies, which is the one that derailed everything. So I think that's like a subtle, in my head, that's a subtle hint to the one that like screwed everything up. And so Driver felt that there was unfinished business for Kylo Ren, or as he had was known before during this dark side, Ben Solo. So there's these 2 different writers outlined a story that the group then pitched to Kennedy, Lucasfilm president, and chief creative officer Dave Filoni. They were interested, so the filmmakers pulled in Scott Z. Burns to write a script. Driver calls the result, quote, one of the coolest exclusive scripts I've ever been a part of. And he said, we presented the script to Lucasfilm. They loved it. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it. Driver said, we took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman, and they said no. They didn't see how this is the reason. This is what this reason right here that I'm getting ready to read is why everyone is so angry. They said they didn't see how Ben Solo was alive, and that was that. But they have no issue with bringing back every other character that's died in this saga. But they can't bring back Ben Solo. And I'm like, why?
How many people have survived lightsaber gut shots at Qui-Gon?
And can you... Okay, so think about like in the Ahsoka movie, in the Ahsoka show, season 1, you know how we go to the War Between Worlds with Anakin? I forget what clip it is, and I wish I could remember who said this, but somebody mentioned that it would be so cool if they had like Ben Solo with like clips of like Luke Skywalker in the World Between Worlds, kind of, or like Anakin, or like just any kind of variation of World Between Worlds, and kind of working through that to come. I don't know. It's just, it would have been so cool. And it said it was called The Hunt for Ben Solo, and it was really cool. Added Driver, but it is no more, so I can finally talk about it. And I'm like, but the funny part is, people are no, I shouldn't say that word. People are like flooding his comments, Bob Iger's comments, with like comments about The Hunt for Ben Solo. Like, if you go to his posts, that's all the comments are about on Instagram, is The Hunt for Ben Solo and how they should bring it back. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Sober.
It kind of shows through the real, like, like, we've all blamed Kathleen Kennedy for a lot of stuff, and she's to blame for a lot of it, but it almost sheds light on, like, who's really at fault for bad decision-making when it comes to Star Wars and Lucasfilm and stuff like that. So it's like, man, that is so disappointing.
It's like it's a multitude of people that's accumulated over time. Yeah, it said representatives for Disney and Lucasfilm declined to comment. Declined comment. Yeah, and it says Soderbergh, the one of the writer people, in a statement said, "I really enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm just sorry the fans don't get to see it." And I'm like, gosh darn it, man.
Dang it, we're sad.
Ben Solo and Kylo Ren ended up being one of my favorite characters in that trilogy just because of he had so much potential. Like, like all the conflict. Like, I swear he honestly had more conflict than Anakin probably had at some points. You know, like, and he mirrored Anakin in a way, but he was his own character. And it was just, and he is literally an actual Skywalker.
Yeah, like, the Rise of Skywalker should have reflected him,
Yes. Oh my God. Or make them a duo. That's not hard. Like, you could even leave the romance part out of it. You could have them, like, touch on that a little bit and them decide just to be, you know, companions, like friendship, a bond that's closer than a friendship, because they were tied together anyway. You know what I'm saying? And even if you want to kill him off at the end, it would have made, like, if you would have focused on his redemption more and built that up and actually give her a character arc, the fact that spoiler alerts, by the way, the fact that he uses his life to save her would have been so much more meaningful at the end if they would have just put more effort into it. Sorry. Okay, I've needed to rant for a while about this, but I've been waiting. So
glad you waited for me. Okay, so one of mine, I actually just saw this like today. Rebecca Yaros on like Facebook had posted about her contemporary series. And it's literally the opening, like, when you go to the landing page, it says, before Xaden Riorson, there was Josh Walker, a deeply emotional and angsty new adult romance from the #1 New York Best Times selling author of Fourth Wing. And it's a whole, there's like there's 5 books. It's contemporary romance. It still has to do with, like, military stuff, I think, and it sounds so good, and I had to save it, because I definitely, after reading I don't think anything's ever going to be as good as The Last Letter, but I'm really interested in her contemporary stuff, so I saw that, and I had to mention that.
Yeah.
And I have a few other quick things.
Okay, hold on.
One of them, since you were talking about Star.
Okay, hold on. You're getting robotic for a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Say that last statement again.
Okay. I had a bunch of little quickies, and so there was a
yeah.
couple quickies I was just going to run through really fast.
Yeah, for sure.
I shut my fan off. I was wondering if what was bumping. So this is more film related than book related, but
Yeah,
we were talking
fine.
about Star Wars and we've been talking about film. So I don't know if this is true because you can't really trust everything you read on Facebook, especially.
Oh, yeah.
But supposedly, Mel Gibson's like the second part of his Passion of the Christ film supposedly is going to come out in 2027.
Oh.
So I saw a thing. I've heard interviews with him where he is working on it. It's just going to take him a while. And a lot of it is he wants to deal with the spiritual aspects of, like, you know, when Jesus is crucified and he goes down into hell to get the keys, like the spiritual aspects of that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yes.
There was a couple of just random book recommendations. One of them was called The Musician and the Monster, which is like a Gothic Beauty and the Beast retelling. But it's like Phantom of the Opera, so it's like there's a lot of music to it too. So that was like a book recommendation that I found. So it's just a lot of little quickies that I wanted to bring up. So
I was thinking I saved stuff on my phone, but then I can't find things now. I swear I've saved more stuff than what I have, but you know, it's all right.
So
okay. Next thing I saw, I don't remember how recently I saved this, but I did see a video that talked about like things, what we know about Fourth Wing Book 4. And so it was like some things that's been confirmed in like different interviews with Rebecca Yarros. So things like one of the dragons is lying about their name, supposedly.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's Karen, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. I don't know. Or Sigale. I don't know.
I'm just wondering why a dragon lying about their name is significant, though.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm thinking.
Why does that matter? Is what my question is.
Unless she plans on making their names more important.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, next one. Dane and Sloan. Sloan. I'm gonna have to refresh my brain okay, they are endgame. Apparently she said they're endgame and they have been from the beginning.
I love it. I shipped them. I started shipping them so much
Okay, apparently we're getting more Riddick, but her quote along with this is that sometimes characters that are more the more funny characters are more funny when they are masking pain. I know. Okay, and then the last thing she said, the multiple POVs that we got like at the end of book 3, like Onyx Storm, are going to continue. So it sounds like she's transitioning into a more epic fantasy-ish vibe. So I'm curious to see what it looks like from there.
Me too. For me, I guess we've gotten so used to Violet. I don't know if I'm going to miss it, but then at the other, but we've talked about this with Sarah J. Maas and how ACOTAR is one POV and how like it suffers compared to Throne of Glass. So it could expand the world and the plot line a little bit more, but I'm just afraid of like missing Violet or hating whatever POV we're in, like, and just dreading a certain POV or something. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, me too.
So my next thing I actually saw on Instagram, Callie Hart on her Instagram specifically, which you may want to pull this up. This was a couple weeks ago, or maybe not weeks, but 6 days ago. So it was almost a week ago. They're releasing a new special edition of Quicksilver, so that's kind of eye roll. But
again,
the special edition is going to have in-paper illustrations. And we know how we talked about her original cover. She designed it herself to look like Kingfisher. So it's kind of exciting on her behalf to actually get art of the two characters.
That makes sense.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Unless this gives fans an opportunity to complain because their version is not the version she chose. So it could give me more of an opportunity to rage at people. So we'll see what happens.
Based on the comments, because she posted both illustrations, it's going to go on either side. She posted them both separately, and so I encourage you when you have a chance to like get on Instagram and look at it, either later, because both of them are absolutely gorgeous. Like one of them is the first in paper of the special edition of Quicksilver, and it's when he lifts her up out of the Quicksilver, and it's so gorgeous. I like every time I see it, I'm like, it's so good. I cannot stop fangirling. And the comments are like, "Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. This is stunning. Wow,
Sweet.
your Quicksilver art is the goat." I literally got chills. Dang, but like the other word, it's gorgeous. Like
that's reassuring.
This is the most awesome art of Kingfisher I have ever seen, with a crying emoji and a heart emoji. So it's just like everybody seems to be in love with it, and it's so gorgeous. So I had to tell you about that because I saw them on Instagram and I fell in love, and I'm like, now I don't need another version of Quicksilver, but at the same time, the art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So that was the one I had on Instagram.
Okay. Let me see. I thought there was like some theories that I had saved, but I can't remember.
Right.
One of them I had was an Onyx Storm theory that was like, what if Violet had been curing Jack Barlow from being venom with her lightning charged alloys. In biology, lightning helps restore nutrients to over-farmed land. If it literally heals the soil. What if Violet's lightning is doing the same to Jack? Metal alloy plus her lightning equals regeneration ? And it says, at the end of the book, Jack reappears and there's no mention of red eyes or black veins. Even Theophany calls him a liability, maybe because he's cured. And it said, plus, when Xaden used one of Violet's charged alloys, he feels better, sleeps peacefully, and doesn't need to channel from the earth anymore.
I can actually see that as being legit.
Yeah.
And it could be an interesting plot point for the next book if Jack shows up and then that's how they figure out how to cure Xaden, is what I'm thinking that could
and Jack,
potentially. So
the enemy ends up becoming her key to fixing him. Yeah. That would be cool. I want Jack Barlow to have a more significant purpose in this story other than just being the irritation, like the fly next to my ear. Like, I want more for him other than just that. Where is this
I totally agree.
Fan theory? I thought I had another one.
Right. Darn. Well, I'll go next.
Yes, you go next.
For your fan. Okay, so on Threads, Carissa Broadbent, which her handle is Carissa Broadbent Books on Threads, she had a couple posts that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, sweet.
First of all, this was 6 days ago. She did the exclusive cover reveal.
Oh, I saw it.
It's dark. And the first time she released it before it was anywhere else, she actually shared the article to Threads. Sweet. And so I thought that was cool that they got the exclusive first glimpse at it. So it's Septimus and Kyrene's story, and she's like, it quickly became one of my favorites. But she tells you a bit more about the book in the article, so she was like, go check it out. So that was one post. The next post that I found interesting, especially from an author standpoint, she said, and this is her quote, "It's absolutely killing me that The Lion in the Deathless Dark is like 10 months away because I'm at peak excitement and just want to go wild sharing it. I really love this one. Probably the funnest writing experience I've had overall. By the time it actually comes out, Naxia 6 will be finished and I'll be in that mode and have to somehow avoid not dropping grand finale spoilers at every event. Oop, I will probably fail."
Gotcha.
So there was a lot of stuff in that post. The first thing that was like interesting was like she's at peak excitement. She really loves this one, probably the funnest writing experience she's ever had overall writing.
Oh, I saw that.
And then when it comes to 6 will be finished and she'll be in that mode and have to avoid not dropping finale spoilers. So it's it just all of that was like, okay.
Yeah, really, and then so like I think in the last one, I think at one point when she's talking about that book, it was like a short or something. She was talking about how it was like a short that I saw, but it wasn't her talking. It was like quotes. But it was something about how it was like really emotional for her, far like more than what she originally had anticipated. And so I'm like, it makes me really interested. Like she said it like it hit like emotionally where she wasn't really expecting it to be that emotional. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, I like.
Reading Rainbow is back
I saw that.
with the Michael the librarian. I believe he's from TikTok. Like honestly,
I didn't know who he was.
yeah, I haven't really seen him a whole lot, like interacted a whole lot with him, but just from the few clips I've seen, he's giving the correct vibe, and I'm okay with that. And honestly, I feel like we need.
I was worried
like,
about the 5.
yeah, like we need reading Rainbow in today's world. Like we need
We
young
really do.
young
Like,
babies like
big
learning,
read.
growing up, wanting to read again. Like we need that desperately. Like I
It
saw.
almost makes me sick because when I saw that, I got so nostalgic because reading Rainbow, the
Yes.
line, something reading
Between
with
the lions, between the lions. Oh my
Between the
god,
Lions,
that's like my favorite show. Yeah.
and Adventures from the Book of Virtue, like all
Yeah.
of these were about stories and
We
adventure, and just reading can
we
just expand your
okay.
imagination.
We need a
Kids today don't understand.
like we need a resurrection of PBS.
Actually, yeah, 100%.
Like a
Just that's
resurrection
what
of PBS. Like that's what we need. We need to get rid of Disney. We need to get rid of Nickelodeon. You know, all of this other nonsense, and we need true PBS kids back. That's what we
was, like,
PBS.
learning
That's what we
and
need.
everything.
Yes, like
Yeah.
the arts and
Oh.
science and you know the Craft Brothers. I think it was they were on there like Zaboomafoo, and they have like a cartoon show now, so like they're still going strong. I think, but it's just
That's
like
cool.
you know like we need that again.
Also, the really quick insert, the Kratt brothers reminded me of like the whole I'm like animal kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The crocodile hunter, I think. I can't remember. Irwin.
Yes, Steve
His
Irwin.
son, Robert, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Steve Irwin. His son Robert is on Dancing with the Stars
I
this
know.
season.
I was
Oh my God.
honestly a lot. People were
Yep.
like, people on social media are upset that he did not get a 10 this week. Like a lot of people are saying that they are showing favoritism really, really bad towards certain characters. Apparently,
Derek really liked. They all really liked him. I just feel like they gave other people 10s that tend to do like they thought that they did better, but like they really loved what he did. I just feel like he's not. Sometimes they do that because we've watched like every season they put out recently, and sometimes they like push certain people that are like genuinely good dancers to like do better, so they get nitpicky with them, and it's kind of not really fair.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I don't want this to sound bad, but like, dad, like I don't know, dad and like mom, dad, and I, we would watch it when I was little, like on the TV with the original like the original judges and like with Len and Bruno and Carrie Ann and pretty sure I think those are the main three of them. It just felt like a true competition. It was about celebrities that didn't know how to dance coming on and developing that skill and learning, and it was all about like true improvement from week to week. Now it just feels like an entertainment show that is a popularity contest. And all of these people coming on have some base level of like dance ability, or they're really, really in shape and fit. And there's one person that's either really old or really not in shape. And it just, I don't know. It seems like every season, like the people that are on there, there's always somebody that's older. They can't dance very quick. There's always somebody that's on the little on the heavier side. And I can say that, like you and we can say that because we're heavier people, you know. Me so more than you, but
well, I will say what, because I started to feel that way too, and what genuinely surprised me and I enjoyed about this week was that the older man, because I really love the older man, he is hilarious this season. He's so funny, he's so entertaining, even watching him dance. He's actually been showing improvement every week, and so the thought was that he was going to go home next because he's lasted longer than most older people do.
Yeah.
And they genuinely, like, the
I've been
person
following
who went home
them on TikTok.
Yeah, Yeah. So the person who went home this week was actually somebody else who had plateaued and has been getting sevens the whole, like every single week.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that. My sister and I didn't like this person. And that was the person that went home. So I appreciated that somebody who plateaued went home
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
over for
Yeah.
somebody who's getting, like,
Yeah.
people who are getting better
Yeah.
and better. So
Yeah.
it was a nice
And I
thing this
honestly
week,
feel
but
like the only reason why he's continuing to stay on the show is because the fans on TikTok are rooting for him and continue to vote him in every week. Otherwise, the judges in the show and the producers and people would have kicked him off ages ago. That's why he's still at the bottom two every time. Like, I know who you're talking about because I've been following it, and it's just like, I don't know.
I do feel like there's a lot of good dancers, like people who are genuinely good dancers that are like have gotten better, like every week, that are like really interesting.
Uh-huh.
Like Val, he teaches his people really well. What's
Oh
the
yeah,
other
he's
chick?
always been, his brother Max was always my favorite. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
the hothead.
Val, she'd be like, ooh. Ow. Oh my gosh, my sister! Like, that's so funny. She loves, we love Val.
Funny.
So
I'm all for his
so-
brother Max.
that's cool. I didn't know we had a brother.
Oh
so
my
now
gosh,
we know.
they were like literally Max was the OG hothead, and then his brother Val was the young new kid that came in, and so now Max is retired, and Val is one of the main hotheads. He's a lot tamer than they were when they were younger. I'm just gonna say that they would full on like sass back and talk back to the judges. It was intense. Like, that's what I'm saying. It just feels so like tame. Like, it just is so tame. But I guess I just don't watch it consistently because I have like one of those digital things that's like set up that's supposed to get local channels, but I haven't been able to get local channels in years now, just a couple years now, and so I don't get it in consistently just because of the way that my house is positioned. I just don't get it, so it's like,
We've never gotten TV for like years. Every place we've lived has not had local TV. The only reason why we do watch it is because we have Disney Plus, and so that's kind of a bonus that we get to watch it there.
Gotcha.
What I love is that they do genuinely. I feel like Carrie Ann is like more of an emotional voter, but the other ones like Derek and Bruno are like critiquing the dancing like every time with every person consistently.
Yeah.
And so that's what I appreciate.
There was like TikTok was kind of going at Carrie Ann like a couple, like not this week, but like last week, like they were not happy with her because apparently I don't know if she was like playing favorites or they were saying she was showing favoritism, and then Derek made a comment. Derek, who was my favorite pro dancer from the very beginning, I love him. I was slightly, I'm not gonna lie, I was slightly sad when I saw that he got married. I'm just gonna say it. I was kind of sad.
Yeah.
But my other celebrity crush got a divorce. Mm-hmm. So there's hope. There's hope.
That's hilarious.
That's Joe Jonas, by the way.
Like, it's Joe Jonas.
It's Joe Jonas, by the way. I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
Okay.
That was a nice little tangent.
Oh,
we have no way to connect dancing with stars to books other than like watching the handsome men dance. Therapy and Mass writes really good dance scenes, so there you go. That's inspiration.
There you go. There we are. Got it.
So I think that was your turn. Okay, that's another book recommendation. Okay, so on October 16th, the Chronicles of Narnia on Facebook posted happy 75th anniversary to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, a book that continues to enchant readers around the world. Cheers to 75 more years of Narnia. And they released a special edition hardback with sprayed edges.
Ooh, what? Oh my God.
You're gonna have to, the Chronicles of Narnia official page on Facebook on October 16th. So it shouldn't be too much troubling. It's gorgeous. Yeah, it is actually like really gorgeous. So I figured that I was like, she's probably already heard of this, so I'm actually really of that.
Although I am not excited for the TV show at all. Like, there's several things that have been changed, like rumors that have said that they've been changed, that it has me like, I'm not. If it turns out, oh my God, that's gorgeous. What? Oh my God. Is it like the whole thing together?
I genuinely don't know.
It looks okay. It looks like I have a paperback that has that same lion on it, and it's like right back. Nope. It's right
Yeah,
right
I know
there.
which one you're talking about.
And it's really
Yeah.
worn down just because my dad read through it. I've read parts of it. And so it looks like it's the same lion. So I'm thinking it's the full 1 through 7 all in one book.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing, dude, if it
But
was like the same.
the question is, where do I buy it?
That, yeah,
That's the
they didn't post a
question.
link. So it's like maybe the 75th edition and you can look it up.
Mm.
So, that's another little tiny thing that I wanted to mention was I saw some posts. This was October 16th, so the same day. 400 days until the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping hits theaters on November 20th, 2026. And it had like a fake, like District 12, Hamish Abernathy, and it had like the actor and like a fake little
Oh.
poster for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was kind of cool. And then somebody else had posted, "We are not ready," crying face. McKenna Grace, who is another actress in the movie, says that his performance of Hamish in the Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping will have everybody sobbing in the theaters, quote unquote.
Ooh.
And the actress's exact quote in the interview, when she said his performance, everybody's gonna be freaking sobbing in the theaters. It's rough. I'm supposed to be the most stuck up girl in town, but I'm watching him do his thing and like, oof, it's very gut punchy.
Okay, so the book is on HarperCollins Publishers website. Like that's where you can buy, and it's also, ironically, kind of makes me want to giggle. It is $75.
That's ironic.
But it's on sale for $60. A whopping $5 difference, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you say what you
but
right?
hey, it's over $35, so you could get free shipping.
There you go. Benefits of having an expensive book. But yeah, her exact quote, McKenna Grace, I think so. I can't remember the character names, but her exact quote was, his performance, everybody's going to be freaking sobbing in the theaters. It's rough. I'm supposed to be the most stuck up girl in town, but I'm watching him do his thing and like, oof, it's very gut punchy.
My God.
I'm just like, we're not ready.
I'm not ready for this at all.
Yeah. So I'm
gonna have to reread the book before the movie comes out. I'll have to reread it.
Yep. So
what was did I have anything else? Okay, so the one I'm gonna start reading When the Moon Hatched. I'm finally plunging into this one. I've already reserved the audiobook on Hoopla. I found it on Hoopla. But it was kind of funny because I saw this and then I was looking through my post that I saved. The sequel to this one is called The Ballad of Falling Dragons, and it comes out April of next year.
Okay, so I gotta read that before April.
Yes. And so, like, the description is talking about, like, an assassin for a rebel group, and it has the group's name, but I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It's her job to complete orders and never get caught. And so when a rival bounty hunter turns the world upside down, blood spills, hearts break, and Rave finds herself imprisoned by the Guild of Nobles. So it kind of sounds interesting. It has to do with dragons, though. So I'm like, oh, assassins and dragons. I'll take it.
Like, yes, please.
And like,
that's pretty cool.
This book has just a very unique cover to it, and I'm just like, oh, and I saw this post, this random thought. I saw a post on TikTok earlier today, and it was about how this one person was like, do you research authors before you read their books, or like after you read their books, or like, do you research the author at all? And a person stitched that original creator and responded. This one guy was like, no, I don't. I read the books for enjoyment. And people in the comments were surprisingly very like agreeable with him. Like, yeah, like I judge books by their cover. I will research the author just to see what other books that they sell, what other books that they have. That's what he had said, is like the only kind of researching he'll do on an author is look up what other books that they've written. And so I'm like, just curious, like, do you research authors at all? Because I know I don't. Other than looking at their other works, I don't really dive into.
Most part, no. Other than like for our channel, if we want author news and stuff.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
I may do it in the sense, like, if they're an indie author, I'll, like, start stalking their page
Okay.
and find out more about them, how to support
Oh,
them and
okay.
stuff.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Like, things like that. But, like,
Yeah.
not really. I at all, like, I'll read a book and just read a book. You know, I don't
That's
really care what,
No,
you
that
know,
makes sense.
about them. Like he said, though, I will research them to find out what other books, like, if I really love them, like, I'll start stalking them to find out what else they've written, you know, but not for the most part. So, but I have a bunch of other ones, but I think I'm gonna have to talk about that next time and cut this short.
Yeah.
So now that it's been short, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That
have to
makes
talk
sense.
about this next, I think. So other than really quickly, Leia Bardot reveals a new Six of Crows story set after the events of the book duology. That's kind of bookish news that just I haven't read it. I don't think you've read it, so
No,
it's just
I
a
haven't
little. I think
either.
we both.
I think we
But
both have
it's,
it. We both have six. Do we have Six of Crows? I can't remember
we
if
bought
that's
it
one.
at a store
Ah,
in our brand.
that's right.
So yes, we both
That's
bought
right.
the exact same copy. So that
Also,
was just another tidbit,
also,
but
I showed this on the last live stream, but I don't know if you saw it or not. The special edition of Twilight.
I think it looks so good.
The pages. Okay, look at this. Look at this.
That is like the coolest.
Okay,
thing
and then look.
I've never seen any book do that before. That's crazy.
Okay, and the thing is, I heard some people having criticisms for this, saying that it didn't really give them a Twilighty vibe. But honestly, it makes me looks like a classic, like one of like the classic novels like that Bella would read. So like that's what it reminds me of. It looks like a book that Bella would read. And so like in my head it just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense to me too, so yeah. I like it.
All right.
So
this has been fun.
I'm glad this has been fun. I needed this.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot more next time, so we'll be able to start getting in a schedule again.
Yeah,
so
for sure. Alrighty.
Yeah. So.
Well, if you have any news or anything, any new changes that have happened, or let us know. Tell us what you're reading in the comments.
Topic.
Yeah.
Yes, let us know how your reading is going and stuff like that. Yes. So.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right.
I'm very excited. So next month's going to be a big book month. Got Brimstone and the Darth Vader book, so it's going to be so exciting.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So.
Alrighty. We will talk to y'all later.
Talk to you later. Bye.